हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू एनएलडी सिविल्स। एनएलडी सिविल्स में आप सभी का स्वागत है। आज हम लोग कवर करने जा रहे हैं 5 ईयर प्लान। 5 ईयर प्लान जैसा कि सारे कंपटीटिव एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं। इसमें लगभग सिविल सर्विसेज में भी यूपीएससी में जैसा देखा गया है कि 1 से 2 क्वेश्चंस हर साल पूछा जाता है और सारे स्टेट पीसीएस में लगभग आपसे इससे क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं फर्स्ट 5 ईयर प्लान से। तो फर्स्ट 5 ईयर प्लान जो हमारा अडॉप्ट किया गया था ये 1951 से लेकर के 1951 टू 1956 में टारगेटेड ग्रोथ रेट हमारा था 2.1% एंड एक्चुअली ग्रोथ रेट वाज टू 3.6%। व्हाट वाज द प्लान? सो प्लान वाज द, इसे हम प्लान कहते हैं हैरोल्ड डॉमर मॉडल प्लान। इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ रिफ्यूजीज, severe food shortage and mounting inflations confronted the country at the onset of 5-year plan. First 5-year plans. The plan focused on mostly agriculture part, price stability, power and transport. Successful plans. It was a successful plans, good harvest, rehabilitations and refugees, food sufficiency and price controls. The second 5-year plans was started in 1956 to 1961. Growth rate was targeted 4.5% and actual growth rate was 4.3%. It was also a Harold Dorman model और इसे हम महालनोविस प्लान भी कहते हैं. Resource allocations to broad sectors such as the agriculture industries, focused on rapid industrializations and heavy basic industries, advocated huge import through the foreign loans, socialist patterns and moderately successful price rise. Third 5-year plan was 1961 and 1966 के बीच में था. Targeted growth rate was 5.6%, but actual growth rate was 2.8%. In this plan, make India self-reliant and self-generating economics was the plan. Agriculture was the given a top priority to support the export and industry, but it was failed to target its target due to the droughts and the wars with the Pakistan and China. During the third and fourth 5-year plans, in this gap, there is a one plan in 1966 and 1969 called Plan Holidays. In this plan, we adopted Gargill formula, green revolutions and import substitutions. Next is a fourth 5-year plan. Fourth 5-year plan was targeted as a targeted growth rate 5.7%. We got 3.3%. Actual growth rate was 3.6%. Growth was a stability and self-reliance. Emphasis on the agriculture growth, failure and rising prices, Bangladesh refugees and the Indo-Pakistan war. Nationalizations of banks adopted in this year. Sorry guys. Fifth 5-year plan. So fifth 5-year plan was in 1974 to 1979. 4.4% was targeted growth rate and 4.8% was actual growth rate. गरीबी हटाओ का नारा हमने इस समय दिया था. गरीबी हटाओ and self-reliance. Promote the high rate of growth, better distributions of income and significant growth in a domestic rate of savings were seen as a key infrastructure. Minimum needs program was also adopted in this plan. इसी टाइम पे हमारा establishment of regional rural banks हुआ था and food for the work program also adopted in 5-year plan. So 5-year plan was most important. ये ज़्यादातर एग्जामिनेशन में आपको 5-year plan से क्वेश्चंस पूछे ही जाते हैं. नेक्स्ट 6-year plan, 5-year plan. So 6 5-year plan में हमारा होता है कि 1980 से लेकर के 1985 के बीच में बनता है. टारगेट ग्रोथ रेट हमारा होता है 5.2%. एक्चुअल ग्रोथ रेट वाज 5.7%. Focused on income and national incomes, modernizations of technology, remove poverty and unemployment. 7th 5-year plan 1985 to 1990s. Targeted 5%, got 6%. That means actual growth rate was 6%. The plan was aimed at accelerating the food grains productions, increase employment opportunities and rising productivity with a focus on food and work productivities. The plan was very successful as economics recorded 6% growth rate against the targeted 5% with the decade of 80s struggling out of Hindu rate of growth. 8 5-year plan. 8 5-year plan was adopted in 1992 to 1997. 5.6% was targeted, what actual growth rate was 6.8%. इसे ये रिपोर्ट बेस्ड ऑन द जॉन मिलर मॉडल पे बेस्ड है। ये इसे हम लोग जॉन मिलर मॉडल भी कहते हैं। तो जॉन मिलर मॉडल अगर आपसे पूछा जाए तो आप लोग ऑप्शन टिक कर सकते हो 8 5-year प्लान, दैट मीन्स 1992 टू 1997। इस समय पे पीवी नरसिम्हा राव जी हमारे प्रधानमंत्री थे। एलपीजी रिफॉर्म इसी टाइम पे अडॉप्ट किया गया था। वर्सनिंग बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट पोजीशंस, राइजिंग डेप्ट बर्डन्स, वाइडनिंग बजट डेफिसिट, recession in industry and inflation were the key issues during the launch of the plan. High growth in agriculture, allied sector and manufacturing sector, growth in exports and imports, improvements in trade and current account deficit. High growth rate was achieved even though the share of public sector in total investment had decided considerably account about 34%. And National Social Assistance Program was also adopted in a 8th 5-year plan. 9th 5-year plan was 9th 5-year plan adopted in 1997 to 2002. 6.5% was adopted, but we got 5.4%. Actual growth rate was 5.4%. Growth with the social justice and equality, mostly indicative planning, failed due to the global slowdowns after the Asian financial crisis. 10th 5-year plans, targeted growth rate 8%, actual growth rate 7.6%. It set the monitorable targeted for the few key indicators. Total key indicators 11 था of development of besides 8% growth rate target. The target included reductions in the gender gaps in literacy and wage rate, reductions in the IMR, that means infant mortality rate, and MMR, that means ये वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम हमारा है मीजल्स के लिए और रूबेला के लिए और एम्स, डोंट रिमेंबर दिस। improvement in literacy and access to portable drinking water, cleaning and major polluted river etc. Governance was considered as a factor of development and agriculture was declared as a prime moving force of the economics. State role in planning was to be increased with the greater involvement of Panchayati Raj institutions to balance development of all states. Next is 11th 5-year plan. 11th 5-year plan was adopted in 2007 to 2012. 9% was the growth rate targeted and 8% we got towards the faster and more inclusive growth. This was the plan. India had emerged one of the fastest growing economics. The savings and investment rate had increased. Foreign direct investment also increased. Not inclusive SC/STs and minority faced poverty, malnutrition, mortalities, currently delay employment etc. So next is a 12th 5-year plan. 12th 5-year plan is adopted in 2012 to 17. We don't have sufficient idea about it because it was not completed this term because it's suspended in 2014 and started on this replaced by the Niti Aayog. Second financial crisis theme faster, more inclusive and sustainable growth. Targeted growth rate 9%, GDP 4%, agriculture 10%, manufacturing sector 10%. Reductions in poverty, create 50 million new jobs, get IMR infant mortality rate 26 and MMR is 1000, child sex ratios 950 and total fertility rate 2.1%. Increase mean school years, forest cover, infrastructure, investment in rural and teledensities. So that's all for today. Thank you.